Welcome, Virgo. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, and I've pulled for you the Ace of Wands as your overall energy for this full moon in Scorpio coming up on the 12th of this month, about the time you're receiving this video. The Ace of Wands is describing a new beginning. This feels like it's about an unleashing of your inspiration. This feels like a fresh idea that is coming to you. And in particular, this may be something that you have been learning about, talking about, writing about, or teaching about for a while. You're beginning to formulate a project as a result of something you've been learning, teaching, researching about. At the bottom of the deck is the Star card. Yeah, this feels like you launching into a higher vision. When I say a higher vision, I mean this is a North Star, so we don't achieve these stars. We reach for these stars always. And it feels like a course of study or activity, perhaps professional development, has been in pursuit of this star, this vision that you have. And you're finding a new way to experience this, record it, share it with others, a new kind of inspiration, particularly coming from the world. It feels like you're seeing the world as your community in a global way. So it can be events that are happening across the globe or in other places that is re-inspiring, reinvigorating a vision that you've long held and long reached for. This is a general reading, Virgo. It's not going to resonate for all of you. If you're interested in a personal reading, information for that is in the description box below. And I thank you for spending time with me. It is important. I value your time as I value my own. And in the 10th house, the way you're showing up in the world is the Queen of Wands. This is feeling like a real clear declaration of your heart, of your authentic being, that this is something you are desiring, something you are achieving, something you want to have, or a place you want to be. And you are allowing the magnetism of your knowledge, your depth of desire. This feels like something that you are personally identifying with, and that is actually attracting the attention of others who are willing to support you, who are willing to provide you with the resources that you need. This is very exciting. This feels absolutely central to a shift in the way that you're thinking, or a new means of communicating something that you have been uh, already involved in, already in discussion about, already involved in a course of study or a subject that you know quite a lot about. But you have divined a fresh perspective on this, or perhaps a new community that you can interface with around this deeply held and inspirational desire. In the first house, the Fool card. Wow, how exciting. So this is kind of realigned with this new sense of yourself, this new sense of being open to new ideas, communicating, recording, documenting, researching, finding out, is really coming from this long held desire, this long sense of the evolution of your own experience. So the Fool card feels like a full circle, taking you back to the beginning of this trajectory, wherever it was. It feels like it began as a youth. Whatever you're creating, involved in, developing, is part of something that has been you've been developing since your entree into the world, into your professional life. That same sense of adventure, expansiveness, exploration is carrying you into this new arena, this new sense of empowered adventure, where you now have much more knowledge, much more awareness of the field or the subject matter itself, as well as yourself. Seeing yourself reborn through this experience, through this desire to create something that can be shared with others and that provides you with a unique avenue of self-expression. In the fourth house, the house of your home, your family, your soul, this is your foundation. You are stable and secure. And it seems to me that you have done things a certain way for a long time. And in fact, it has worked for you. You have a process, you have steps and a procedure that you always follow that adheres closely to what you believe are your talents and strengths, and that is not too much deterred by the thoughts or opinions of others. This leads me to believe that you're somehow on your own or in a relatively strong but isolated position. Perhaps you work from your home. So, in that way, despite the nature of your work or your calling or the motivation for this project, you are relatively secure and are more comfortable sticking to a pattern that works for you. You protect your security, you protect what you've built, and that is important to you. However, it is pulling against this emotional or this desire that is pulling you out into the world much further afield than you've been before. Perhaps you've been a lot of places, but you're looking at a project that connects you far afield, overseas, whatever that means to you. And you are launching that from your base of operations, which you feel is secure. And this security has sustained your success over a long period of time. So you built what you have on the basis of your routines, your habits, your stability, your financial security, and you're content with that. But this is now your launching pad to move out into the world and in some ways to charm others. I feel that you must have a considerable amount of charisma in your favor so that you're able to talk to those you need to talk to, convince those you need to convince, partner with those who share your values and your vision. And that is pulling you out of your safety zone. In the seventh house of your significant others, the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, I see you working, working, working. I see you really working on yourself. And I almost feel that it is in a kind of preparation for this new version of yourself as the explorer, the adventurer, sort of conquering or um, taking on a new community or a new body of knowledge specific to your own knowledge, but perhaps particularly entwined with developments that are occurring in other parts of the world, your world. And by your world, I mean wherever on the globe you identify yourself. And this is important because this is in line with your own self-improvement, your own personal development. There are things about who you are. There are things about your skill set that you are honing, that you are allowing yourself to delve into the craft, into the skills and effort, the discipline, the work ethic needed to develop and be ready for this opportunity that you're manifesting into your world. This approach to your significant partnerships as a labor of love comes out of your sense of personal and familial integrity, your home life, the basis for that, whether you're single or part of a family, part of a community even, your approach to partnerships that are significant to this new growth, this new adventure, is something that is plotted and planned, something that is agreed upon, something that you have working relationships that support your ability to do your job, to express your gift authentically to you. If this reading is resonating for you, Virgo, please like this video, please share this with others, and please subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. And I pulled the empathy card. I don't get the empathy card very often. I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. Interesting, because this feels as though it is connected up with the way that you are creating agreements with others around the project, the work, the thing that you are motivated to build, the thing you're inspiring others to build with you. So that this very single-minded, stable focus that comes out of your home base. It feels like you work from your home, but you also, of course, naturally go out into the world as a way of making those connections needed, doing the research, finding the ideas, having the conversations necessary. And you're very focused on building this platform for this new enterprise you're engaged in, particularly in relationships which have and perhaps are governed by your needs, your desires. You are opening up to uh, the practice of engaging in compromise, shaping your goals, your skills, your resources, your conversation, the way you're thinking around the needs of partners or partnerships as well. You're building partnerships into the way that you see this expression being successful. You're also, I feel like this is really in your ability to have empathy. You are opening up to a kind of forgiveness of yourself, because underneath this feels as though your value has always been identified with your work. And that is beautiful, but there's something else that you're allowing here. There's something more creative, something more public about this path that you're moving forward on. In the first house, the Fool is clarified by the Hierophant. Whatever you're learning, you're sharing with others. There almost feels like a gatekeeper energy here, so that you are in a position perhaps to recruit others to a mission or a project that is dear to you. That recruitment involves perhaps dipping into your connections, former students, customers, or clients, the public in some way that is your public, who are the basis for your ability to find recruits or workers or collaborators for you on the project moving forward. And this is absolutely a collaboration. This feels as though I'm speaking again to those who teach in some capacity, those who record, document, or write in some way. And so there's a whole network that exists as a result of those actions, those efforts, from which you are pulling likely allies on this new project that you are envisioning. In the fourth house, the Four of Pentacles is clarified by the Five of Swords. I do see this empathy that is being called out of you, in part a way of healing some sense of insecurity, some sense of inadequacy, or perhaps even shame or embarrassment about something that has to do with you, perhaps your family background, or some kind of skill or uh, learning difference, ability difference that you have. It feels as though you've been mocked or made fun of in some ways, particularly in your childhood, even in your family of origin. You may have been seen as good at this and bad at that kind of thing. Maybe you had charming siblings that you couldn't measure yourself against. Perhaps you sought support from your family of origin, and it was difficult to come by. And by support, I don't necessarily mean that no one sent you to school or supported you to do that, but there perhaps wasn't much interest in what it was that you decided to do or where your talent existed. There, and for whatever purposes, whatever you're engaged in, there's a kind of collaborative spirit that is necessary in order for you to benefit from uh, uh, the best supply available. And it's also a way that you, by staying rooted or grounded in your home, perhaps you're working from home as a basis, has been a kind of protection, kept you from having to change things that you're not sure would work for you, when now you're actually engaging yourself more comfortably in the debate of different opinions or different approaches. You're more actively aware that different approaches and opinions strengthens the uh, end result in a way that will make this project or the information or the productivity of it more accessible to more people. You're definitely changing the way you learn and communicate with others. In the seventh house, the Eight of Pentacles is clarified by the Moon. I'm loving the Moon right now. This is showing me that you are, in fact, opening up to subconscious patterns of behaviors, uncomfortable arenas, things that you've done that you don't feel good about, ways in which you can understand the things that trigger you better. And instead of it being a kind of reactive response to the fear of being ridiculed or made fun of, uh, perhaps even the difficulty of learning new things, you are aware that there is support for you, if not in uh, the 3D world, the material world, that there are ancestors that are cheering you on, that you are doing this work in part for, and that are likewise communicating with you through a variety of ways, depending on your arena of activity, your professional trajectory. You are in constant communication with those who came before you, those who made the way for you. And they're what actually motivate your work. You're using them more often in a two-way conversation so that they're not just the ones who sacrifice so you could have the access and opportunities you've had, but you're actually healing part of their trajectory, part of their experience on earth. You're fulfilling a dream, so to speak. And in that way, there is more active dream life association between ideas for you that is informed by your ancestry, your history, your culture. In the 10th house, the Queen of Wands is clarified by the King of Swords. What a beautiful pairing this is. There is passion, there is creativity, there is authentic self. There's charisma that is magnetizing others to listen to you, pay attention to you. And the King of Swords is keeping the conversation open and flowing. There is a point to your magnetizing the conversation around your ideas or your vision because you want to facilitate a discourse. You want to invite in new ideas. You want to challenge received wisdom and challenge your assumptions and the assumptions and expectations of others as well. This feels like you are leading some kind of a project, some kind of documentation, some kind of creative exploration of your ideas, your subject matter, your arena of activity. So this can go in so many ways. One thing you are absolutely is curious. You're no longer assuming that you know how your combination of skills, support, and resources is going to land, but you do know what your target is. You do know what you desire, but you're opening to the millions of ways that it can manifest in a way that would be productive and introduce, open up new ideas into the field and particularly into your activities. I'm going to finish up this reading, Virgo, with an oracle, crystal oracle, and a couple fell out, and I'm going to take the one closest to me, and I picked the rhodochrosite. Rhodochrosite, that's correct, and the key words are self-acceptance. I fully accept myself and know that I'm worthy of great things in life. Thank you so much, Libra, Virgo. Sorry about that. Until next time, namaste.